Welcome to Ahavas Yisrael Daily. We're still in the overview. Everyone present. Based on the above, Sfas Emes offers a new insight into the commandment to be holy at the beginning of Parsha Kedushim, and the commandment to love fellow Jews. The two are related. He says that included in these commandments is a pathetic assurance: if you sanctify yourself by fulfilling the Torah's commandments, to be honest, helpful, charitable, in other words, do everything you can not to harm, you will come to love others. This is why, as noted above, Hashem commanded Moshe to pronounce the mitzvos of this parsha in the presence of the entire nation. The key to the Jewish holiness is for the entire nation to be unified in honoring and helping one another. When there is unity, there can be holiness. When there is factionalism and strife, the nation is dragged down. This does not mean that there cannot be disagreements. People can always disagree about issues or about scriptural or halachic interpretations, about politics. The Talmud is replete with disputes between Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, between Rava and Abaya, and so on. Such debate is the road to truth. For the disputants respected and loved one another. A young man once came to Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach and said that he and his wife were constantly arguing, and he felt that they should get a divorce. Rav Shlomo Zalman said, "It is normal for couples to disagree about things and even argue." The young man countered, but when the Rav eulogized his late wife, he said that although the custom is for living to beg forgiveness from the departed, he has nothing for which to apologize. Obviously, the Rav and the Rebbitzin never argued. Rav Shlomo Zalman said, "Of course we had disagreements. This is perfectly normal. Two people see things differently and have conflicting ideas about what to do. We argue about issues, but it was never personal." Unity is not only healthy for a family and a society, it also makes people worthy of Hashem's protection. The Sfas Emes cites a well-known Talmudic discussion. The first Beis HaMikdash was destroyed because of three cardinal sins: idolatry, immorality, and bloodshed. However, in the time of the second Beis HaMikdash, the people were very righteous. And why was it destroyed? The Talmud answers that it was destroyed because of sinas chinam, baseless hatred. This passage seems to imply that the baseless hatred is a greater sin than all the three cardinal sins combined. Not so, says the Sfas Emes. If this were true, how could the Talmud refer to the people as righteous? The fact is that, on a scale of sin, the cardinal sins are worse than baseless hatred, but the effect of strife is of a different nature. The merit of the entire unified nation is greater than the merit of any individual. One of Hashem's 13 attributes of mercy in the Erech Apayim is Erech Apayim. Hashem is patient and withholds his wrath. This is especially so if there is a spirit of community, of people concerned with helping one another, but not if the community is torn apart by anger, strife, and hatred. Once the nation was riven by baseless hatred, Hashem withdrew his protection and left the nation to the brutality of the Roman Empire, and Israel was not shielded from destruction and exile. The sages offer an electrifying illustration of this rule. King David was one of the greatest and most righteous people in our history, but during his reign, there were instances when battles were lost and his army suffered casualties. King Ahav was the opposite. He was one of the most wicked kings. He dragged the 10 tribes into idolatry, but he was victorious in war and did not suffer casualties. Why the difference between David and Ahav? Because in David's time there was malice, gossip, but in Ahav's time, monarchy, there was unity and brotherhood, so there was divine protection. In discussing this phenomenon, Melech Chochmeh applies it to his own time. His Sefer was published in 1926, and we don't know when he wrote the following comment, but it was prescient, if not prophetic. He writes, in the contemporary times, Shabbos desecration was spreading, and there were Jewish movements that Chilal preached in disobedience to the Torah. If the people were at peace with one another, despite their sharp disagreements, Hashem would withhold his wrath. But there was also an increasing dishonesty and strife among them, as in the times of the second Beis HaMikdash, and that can foreshadow national tragedy. History bears out his fear. The Holocaust came soon after. As a great Torah leader commented after the Holocaust, the Meshech Chachma's words bring to mind the statement of the sages, and that a wise man is superior to a prophet. Thanks for listening.